Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to trim the length and rehem a set of curtains. So this is before, and as you can see it is quite unleveled, and I'm going to be taking an inch off. So I started from one side of the curtain and worked my way across, tapering up to even out that angle, and I just use pins to know how much to take off the curtains. So I used the tape measure to start with, and then I just followed it across. So I'm going to be using white polyester thread to match the fabric of polycotton. And as you can see here, I've just pinned the outer fabric to the lining fabric. I have already cut the outer fabric, but you want to cut the lining fabric in the same way you cut the outer fabric. So that pin line is where you want to cut. That's the amount of fabric that you want to remove off of the length of the curtains. So as you can see, you want to work across from one side, working your way to the other side of the width of the curtain, and you just want to follow that pin line. So I literally just cut, move the fabric, cut, move the fabric to the end. And this is it pinned together the whole way across. And once that is all cut, you then want to remove the pins, because you don't need the pins to re-sew the hem on curtains, and you want the outer fabric and the lining fabric to not be held together. You want to be able to open them, and you want them to be apart. So I'm just removing the pins, working from one side of the other to the other side of the curtains, and I've just put it in my pin pot, but you can just remove them going down, and you can store them however you want to. You can use a pin cushion, a magnet, but I'm just using a standard pin pot just to keep it all contained. And then once that is done, you want to take the curtains over to the sewing machine. So here I've started to sew the hem. This is the new hem for the curtains. So on my sewing machine, which is a straight stitch heavy duty, there is markings, so I know how much I will be folding in. There's a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch and an inch. So I know how much I am folding in from the raw edge. I find it so much easier to use these measurements that are on the sewing machine, and you can see them directly as you're sewing. I find it is an easier guide to follow rather than pinning and using thread like tailor's tacks or clips. But if you do find it easier and you need to stabilize the fabric, you just need to make sure that you are pinning an inch or however much you want to take up from the length of the curtains the whole way across. As I said before, I am tapering it, so I did cut more off one side than the other, but sewing it is going to be the same throughout. So on the raw edge line that you can see, I am folding over 1/4 inch consistently the whole way across, and I've done this method time and time before. So you just want to fold and stitch the whole way across, and you want to do the same on the lining that you've done to the outer fabric, and you just want to work the whole way around the curtain. So again, you just start from one side to the other, and this is the first line of stitching that you are going to do. And as you can see, I'm just positioning and moving the fabric as and when you need to, just so it stays aligned and it doesn't pull and become heavier on one side. My fabric is just falling on the floor on the side of the sewing machine. I just find it easier with the room that I've got and the space that I'm working with, just to have that fabric aligned like that. But you can roll the fabric up, or if you've got enough space in between the sewing machine, it can fall down the back, whatever works best for you. But as you can see here, this is the second row of stitching. So once you've done the first row and the first fold, you want to fold again directly on top, and you want to stitch directly on top. So you fold once, you stitch, you fold again and stitch. So the first time you fold and stitch, it's 1/4 inch, and the second time you fold and stitch, it's also of 1/4 inch. So together, the seam that you are creating and the hem that you are creating is 1/2 inch. And you want to do this consistently throughout. So you can go as fast or as slow as whatever feels comfortable to you. I am going that little bit slower just because I want to stitch directly on top of the original row of stitching for accuracy purposes, and it just looks more professional doing it that way. But if you're super speedy and this is easy to you, you can just do it as quick as you need to. Or if this is the first time or first few times you've been doing it, just take it at your own pace. There's no need to rush. You just want to make sure that the second row of stitching is in line with the first row of stitching. And again, just keep on using that guide that you can see on your sewing machine. Most domestic and most industrial sewing machines will always have measurements guided and engraved on the sewing machine, so you can see how much you are folding. But again, if you need to pin it or to stabilize it using tailor's tacks or clips, you can do. I just find it very time consuming to do that, and it can be quite tiresome to do that and tedious as well. But if that's easier for you, then feel free to. It's just, for me, I just find it so much easier just to fold and stitch and just to use that guide. But like I said, just find whatever method works best for you. Sometimes it just takes a bit of trial and error just to see. In the past, I have used pins, I have used clips, I have used tailor's tacks when you are sewing meters and meters of fabric. But now I find this method so much easier for me. And obviously with curtains, you are going to be sewing meters and meters and meters across the width of the fabric, obviously to shorten the length. But like I said, because there is so much fabric, having it stabilized or pinned before might not be the best way for this project, but you can do whatever works for you really. But I'm just working my way across. I just move the fabric, reposition it to where I need it to be and what works for me, and then you just want to finish sewing where you started that second line. So once you get to that point, you want to back tack and remove the fabric. Then you want to snip away any loose threads. And then I have joined the lining fabric to the outer fabric. So using pins or clips or tailor's tacks or whatever works best for you, you want to align the outer fabric with the lining fabric. And I do it so the outer fabric is laying on the bottom with the lining fabric laying on top. That way I can see both sides of the fabric, and I find it much easier to align the lining fabric on top of the outer fabric. But if you find it easier to do the opposite way, then that works best for you. I'm just aligning both of those finished hemlines together to do a third row of stitching. And you just want to lay flat, align and pin, and you want to continue using that method from one side all the way across to the other side of the curtains. But you just want to lay the fabric as flat as possible, and you want to align the second row of stitching, which is on that hemline, of both sides together. And you want it so the lining finishes along the edge of the outer fabric hem, and then you just work from one side all the way to the other. But again, you can do whatever works best for you. Even if you feel you don't need to use the pins or whatever, that's absolutely fine. But I'm just using dressmaking pins. You can use heavier weighted pins for heavier fabric, or you can use lighter weighted pins for organza and chiffon and net curtains. So you can do whatever works best for your fabric and what the weight of the fabric that you're working with. But I'm just using generic dressmaking pins. You do ideally want to pin the pins facing towards you, so then you can pull them out facing towards you as you go down. But you'll see in a minute that I have done it the opposite way, so please do it the reverse to what you can see. But that's my mistake there. I have made a few mistakes like that in the past, and it's not bad if you do that. It's just, it can be a little bit awkward and a bit cack-handed when you are pulling the pins out when you're sewing it on your sewing machine. but lesson learned for next time. I'm only human, and sometimes these mistakes happen. It's easy to sew still, it's just not as smooth as what it would have been if I did face the pins towards me. But it's fine, it's not a major problem, it's just a little hiccup. I find it best to sew with as smooth processes as possible, but if you don't find this a problem for you, then you can pin whichever way. I just prefer it to be sewing like a smoother method, so having those pins facing towards you is better. And when I say the pins facing towards you, I mean the pin finish. So that little bobble head that you can see, it can be multicolored or flat or whatever, that finish side of the pin, you want it to be facing towards you. So this is it with the pins in and finish. So as you can see, both of the edges align and they meet. So this is what you want it to look like the whole way across. And then you want to take it back over to the sewing machine because you want to top stitch on that second line of stitching. So the second line of stitching that you did previously on that hem, you want to follow it straight on top. So what you do is you just remove the pins, stitch and go down. So you want to use that method throughout the whole line of sewing. So you want to remove the pins first, then you want to sew and just continue that. So you don't want the needle to go over the pins or the pin head because it can cause the needle to snap or to break, and the same with the thread. So you just want to prevent those issues from happening just by completely removing the pin first, then stitch, and then you just do it the whole way throughout. So as you can see, I am repositioning and moving the fabric because I want it to be as flat as possible, and as you are sewing and the fabric is moving, it will fall to the side, which I'm happy that it is with the space that I've got. It's the best method for me to do, but you just want to like gather the fabric and to move that weight across, just so the weight of the fabric, it's not pulling on one side, which again will prevent any tension issues or any stitching issues or skip stitches and stuff like that, which I know it sounds crazy, but it can happen due to an uneven distribution of weight. So you just want to keep that in mind, but you just want to be as accurate as possible here. So I am taking a little bit of time just to remove those pins and stitch, but trust me, once you have finished and you can see that the stitching looks really nice and professional with it laying on top of each other, it will be worth taking your time here. Again, if you feel more confident and you're happy to go a bit faster, that's not a problem. But again, if this is like your first couple of times in doing this, then I would take that extra time because it's so much more rewarding when you can see your work is actually really accurate and it looks lovely. So as you can see, I have pinned those pins the wrong way round. I am fully aware, and note to self not to do that next time. And you can see it's just a little bit like awkward, but please do pin the pins the opposite way. So you want the pin head, the finished pin head, to be facing towards you. You do not want the sharp metal edge of the pin to be facing towards you, which these are. So you please do it the opposite way, or if this is not a problem for you, then you can just pin however you want, or you can pin across. I am pinning vertical, but you can pin horizontal if you want, whatever works best for you. I just feel pinning horizontal sometimes it doesn't hold as much of the fabric as pinning vertically for me. So I just like to have as accurate as finish as possible. So for me, pinning it vertically, I do feel like you do get a little bit more of an accurate finish just because more fabric is being held together. But if you don't find any difference in that, then that's not a problem. You can pin vertically or horizontally, whichever works best for you. But just take your time and trust me, it will all be worth it in the end. But you just want to continue that method of removing the pins and stitching, removing the pins and stitching the whole way along. And in curtain making or repairing curtains or shortening curtains, there is meters and meters and meters of fabric. It's a lot, but Again, you just want to take your time just to try and get as accurate as possible, and keeping those two hemlines joining together along the edge. So as you can see here, I am like stopping a little bit and then stitching again, but I think that's absolutely fine. But if you're a pro at this and you can just stitch really, really fast without stopping and removing the pins like I am here, then do that, whatever works best for you. But I would always advise just to remove the pins. You just don't want them to go under the needle, and that is either on an industrial or a domestic. And you can sew curtains on a domestic, but as I have an industrial now, I do prefer just to use that industrial for as much as possible. And when you get to the end, you want to back tack and you want to remove those threads, those loose threads that you can see, and then you want to back tack again directly on top of the first back tack that you can see. It just adds a little bit of reinforcement to that stitch area. And this is the stitching finish. So as you can see, it's directly on top. Using an iron, you just want to press that new hemline. So using the heat setting that is good for your fabric, that is advised for your fabric, and then you want to slip stitch. So I didn't record me slip stitching, I'm sorry guys, but you want to slip stitch the lining and the outer fabric together, and this is it finished.